She, Suzanne's not sending us, like Heather used to send us her everything. But they shouldn't have to send us.
Thanks for the email. I loved it.
She came and got all of us because she wanted us in the picture with her. It was so sweet.
Yeah.
She's something else.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Steve.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. First thing up is the approval of the February 22 minutes. Everybody had a chance to read them? So we'll take a motion to approve.
I move
Go ahead.
that we approve the minutes for February.
Yep. Okay, we have a motion and a second.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We are going to move up in the agenda from new business to Central Park Pavilion remodel. Mayor?
All right, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for allowing me to leapfrog a little on the agenda. I've got a 6 o'clock meeting and I want to have time for discussion and I bring you good news tonight and I want to sit down and really get through this and spend the right amount of time with it. So thank you for facilitating my request. So I think what I'd like to do is give a little bit of history on this pavilion project. In 2018, the board authorized design work to remodel the Central Park Pavilion to try and be able to, number one, most importantly, accommodate the park offices, if you remember. Originally, we were going to put the park offices upstairs at the pavilion. There was plenty of space available. It was just going to require a pretty extensive remodel with an elevator and stairs and HVAC changes. And the other highlights of that remodel were to look at opening up the pavilion and moving the kitchen perhaps to one side and then opening up that wall facing the lake and putting windows on that to really give that pavilion a much more open appearance and also to increase the size of the meeting space. And actually it turned out that the way the designer developed it was going to create even a small meeting space within adjacent to the larger meeting space that could be opened up to create one large meeting space. So if you've got your drawings handy with you, I think it's about the third panel, and it shows that layout, that floor plan. It shows the kitchen moved off to the side, and it shows the meeting hall now facing the lake. And probably a couple more panels down where the drawings are, you'll see indoor shots that actually show that opened up area. So at the time, it was going to spruce up the exterior, but most importantly, add the offices and open up, create a more open concept facing and opening up to the lake back in 2018. I think those drawings probably were presented here to the park board at the time. You've seen these drawings. I even did a presentation to the Kosciuszko County Historical Society showing not only that, but a lot of the changes that had been proposed for the parks, the gateway entrances and some of the other things. As that design evolved, the architect, I think it was the architect's recommendation that maybe we look at, instead of, because of the cost to put those offices into the pavilion, that we would put those offices into the proposed maintenance facility, which was was down on Fort Wayne in Indiana. And that would save us a significant amount of money to do that, rather than to create a separate maintenance facility and then do all that work on the pavilion with those offices there. So it made perfect sense, and I know you all approved that. Just a little side note, construction on that facility is set to start in June. So the parks maintenance facility will start in June, complete with all those park offices in design. So that kind of left the pavilion project kind of hanging. We didn't need the office space, and that was a priority for that project at the time. So the idea was, we did ask the architect to just give us a rough idea of what it would cost without the offices in the pavilion to just do the improvements that we had shown. Which they did that and completed that. And the estimates that I can find back in 2018 were about $1.8 million to do that. So again, that project was kind of put on hold a bit just because the priority now was not, we already had the offices was the high priority, and we're taking care of that with the maintenance building. And as you know, we focused on that. But the project didn't really die because we'd identified a potential donor who was interested in helping us with the pavilion project. That pavilion is an important spot in our community for community gathering. We saw that during the pandemic, the ability to do testing down there, to do vaccination clinics there, the bloodmobiles down there. In addition to all the recreational activities and the rentals that are down there, that building became a pretty important building for our community, a gathering space, a central gathering space for our community. And those were some of the discussions that we had with the donors, how important that building was to us. And we really liked some of the improvements that were being proposed back in the original design. So, we did some more cost estimates in 2020 as we had those discussions with the donor. And of course, the project increase, this was mid-pandemic, if you will, and cost went from about 1.8 to 2.4 million. But we had drawings and updates, and that allowed us to continue to have those discussions with the donor. So recently, just last fall, the discussions got a little bit more serious, if you will, and we decided it was important, given how we know the cost of construction was going to have gone up. We wanted to be ready to act, so you all authorized that we go out and finish the construction documents and get updated drawings and an updated price. And that price came in at $3.17 million. That was as of a month ago. It sounds like it's gone up a lot, and it has. This is happening to public and private projects all over. I just heard of a local project that doubled from their engineering estimate. So we know that the project cost was going to go up, but we continue to have those discussions with the donor. I'm pleased to announce the city has secured a funding commitment of $2.5 million from a donor to do this project. So at this point, the city will be working out final details of that donation and coming up with an MOU. There will be expectations there on both sides, but having secured that fund, you can be assured that of that 3.1 current estimate, we've got 2.5 pledged for that, specifically for that project. So as we work through the final details of that donation, we'll have an MOU that I'll bring back to you, and at that time, we will identify the donor, or if not before then, but we're leaving it at their discretion. I just wanted to come to you tonight to get your permission to develop an MOU with the donor. And again, we'll bring that back to you for your approval, at which time then we'll get into the final details of this. The idea here is that if you're comfortable with that, now having the bid documents, this project can go out for bid and we can secure a price to get this project done sooner than later. I mean, we've seen escalation of prices. Construction costs have gone up, what, 30% since November?
Yeah.
It's in a really, it's a tough time, but our donor felt that this project was worthy, and I'm really pleased to announce that, and would like you all to give permission for us to proceed with this process. Again, the MOU will be finalized here. We'll have to take it to the Board of Works as well to accept the donation. But at this point, with you knowing that that donation is secure, I would ask for your permission to continue and work through an MOU with the donor. Questions?
Any questions?
Wow. Pretty
That's
impressive.
good news. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite
Sounds great.
quite an achievement to get that significant percentage of
We're really excited.
the price tag.
That project, I think, is going to be a great improvement for the facility. It's just been an iconic historical structure that we're going to really do right, and again
How
make
long
it.
have we had a pavilion there?
I think I looked back on the capital assets, it was built in 1935.
35.
So I understood it was an open shelter at one time, and then it was closed in as the pavilion, and I know we remodeled it in 1990, I think it was. We had a fire, had a bathroom fire, and it got into the main part of the building, and it was remodeled then, so
So there's
you know,
probably
it's been
not
30 years ago, so,
anyone, well,
yeah.
maybe Bob Gass remembers it before, but not the rest of, you know.
But I think
it's
there's been
few
a lot
far
of
between.
emotional attachment in the community towards that. I remember going through the prior, talking about what we were going to do with that. And I think
Yeah, when we
a lot
talked
of
about the
community-
ice facility, and I
Yes.
know the Historical Society wanted
Yes.
to try and maintain its integrity, and you know, I think that was good discussion. I think at the end of the day, we all respected that.
Yeah.
And these drawings, again, I think just enhance the functional use of that building. It will update that building, and it'll give it a little bit of a facelift on the outside, but there will be no change in footprint, or there are not going to be any walls knocked out. Well, they're inside, there will be, they will move that kitchenette over to the side so that the side door has direct access to the kitchen. And then where the kitchen was, I think there's some offices behind there, park offices. Larry, you can speak to that.
In the kitchen right now? Or in the kitchen area right now?
There's a storage
Back
area.
behind there's a storage area. There used to be the old concession stands,
Yeah.
then when we had them back in the days, but that'll all open up. And then I believe the only footprint that'll change is in the front part where the restrooms are currently now. That foundation through there will be reworked so to accompany the men's restroom, the women's restroom, and the mechanical room out front there. So it changes things around on the second level. It changes the access to the storage up top. But you know, this building's been a mainstay for the community for I don't know, 100 years almost, you know, and it serves a purpose for everybody. I mean, whether it's weddings, whether it's blood drives, whether it's a family get-together, a birthday party, there are just so many uses that the community uses this building for, and it's something we're lucky to have in the community, and we're just, you know, proud to have a donor step up to refurbish this building and make it part of our new generational piece here. So, yeah.
Well, this new design, I think, looks awesome.
Yes, sure does.
So you've heard all this. Do we have a motion to move ahead?
I would certainly, I think it's a project that's, how can we say no at this point? I mean, and
I
I
agree.
would make a motion to approve to proceed with the memorandum of understanding.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you. I
you.
anticipate we'll be back at the next meeting with the MOU, if not potentially sooner. I don't know if we could potentially have a special meeting if things move that quick. Again, we're anxious to get those bid documents out for bid to try and again avoid that continuing escalating costs. And who knows where we're headed with that. But, that cost estimate was as of March 14th. So,
Yeah, at our meeting for our new offices, the construction company said in the last 30 days, it's went up 13%. So, I mean, it's something to get in front of, for sure, yeah.
And Mayor, do we have are we at a point yet where we've talked with construction company about this project? And do we know how far out?
no,
I mean, if
not
we
at
got-
all.
if-
That's,
okay.
that's what we need to get
Okay.
at.
Yeah, for bids and everything.
Right.
Okay. I mean, because that's such a huge thing now, finding
Exactly.
people, construction firms who are available to even do your work.
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed that someone will want to do this project. I think one of the big advantages is there's no steel involved. I don't believe there's any
Correct.
steel involved in
That'll help.
that'll help as far as cost and
Availability.
material delivery times. So, but again, I'll leave that up to the professionals and we just want to kind of, I think we've got a great opportunity here and I thank you for your willingness to continue on with this and we'll see what the next step brings. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much. Sorry I have to duck out.
Anybody
No, that's
have
fine.
any
Thank you.
problem if we need to move the next meeting up? Anybody have a problem?
Depends on when you move it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kids that have to work for a living.
We'll keep you posted on that if we
Okay,
need
yeah.
to. Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, thanks, Mayor.
That's right.
Okay, back to unfinished business, proposed park at the airport.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you a little update. The planning committee, we're scheduled to meet Thursday for that with Deb Smucker of Cornerstone. Of course, redevelopment company board hired her for the site analysis, the development of the park vision, and the conceptual site planning and preliminary cost estimates. So we're going to meet Thursday and start seeing what all is involved in that park and where things are going to go into that park. So exciting times, just another project that's on the board that, we hope to see in the future. So with that being said, also, we've been approached by the Gateway developer for a possible neighborhood park there, and also the Menards development as well. So those are two other development parks that in the future that could happen as those developments grow. So we might have some parks on the north side of town. We might have something on the west side of town. So, we're falling right into our 5-year master plan.
Cool.
So.
Great. Next up, Kayak Kiosk.
We will finish the install of the kiosks tomorrow at Pike and Center Lakes. I talked with Adam from Rent Fund. Their tech's coming up tomorrow. They'll put on the solar panels, the radios, the locking devices. The Rent Fund app is live now. You can actually go on rent.fund and look at that. So after tomorrow, they'll be active. Rentals are from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week. The cost is $15 an hour to rent them, or you can do 4 hours for $40. We've had a lot of social media buzz on this, more than any program that we offer. We've had social media buzz on this, so it's exciting to see that. And again, this was made possible by the KCC RVC Commission, who granted the funds for these kiosks. So it's exciting times. We'll be the first one in the state of Indiana to have one of these. So, yeah.
That's a proud
So it's-
claim.
Yeah,
So are we going to get a picture of all this out in our?
we will. We'll have a ribbon cutting probably next month. Yeah, get it all out there, yeah. Now, in the kayaks, if you want to do that, that's fine. I'll take the picture and
Okay.
get everything. Maybe we can do that and I can cut on the beach or something.
All right, thanks. Moving on to new business, permission to remove playground from Rarick Park.
Yeah, we, in our budget, we have funds for the renovation of the equipment at Rarick Park. We would like the park board's permission to remove the existing playground that's there. Several concerns with deteriorating materials. The playground and swing set was installed in March of '93. So it's been there, 29 years. In our 5-year master plan, we did an independent study or independent survey of that area, that neighborhood. And it showed that park patrons actually wanted like a walking path, a gazebo, swings, and individual play items as opposed to a multi-play structure. So
Larry, remind us, I should know, where Rarick
it's
Park
behind the
is.
old marsh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that playground there.
Not in the flood zone.
Yeah, well, we've also, I'm working with Justin Taylor, the city planner. We're looking at doing some filling there and swelling of the area. We want to keep the basketball courts as is. I've contacted some of the playground companies for some ideas of individual pieces so that we can put along this trail. There again, playground equipment is just skyrocketing right now. I mean, what we would get for $50,000 a year ago is probably $75,000 to $80,000 range. So, but we're working with that and getting that plan down, and then we'd like to get the equipment ordered as soon as possible. Again, first for cost reasons. So we just like to have the permission as we get time from our other projects to go over there and remove that playground to get that done, and then we'll start the filling process, and then probably late fall, if we get a chance, if the equipment comes in, we'll do it. If not, we'll do it again in the spring of next year, like we did with Byron Park. So
Is that the equipment that's on the north end?
it's on the northwest corner. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we need a motion for approval to remove the playground equipment at Rarick.
I would make that motion, I think especially since we have safety concerns. I don't think we want it to sit there while we're preparing for the new park, so I would make that motion.
Need a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to remove the equipment. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Recreation report.
All right, I'll try to do
You're
as best I
doing it
can.
all today.
I've got it all, Steve. Of course, our concerts have been announced. June 17th is Jefferson Starship, is our rock concert. The country concert is Tyler Farr, and he was actually here several years ago. He opened up for Neil McCoy, and at the time, Neil McCoy said, boy, he's going to be a star, and sure enough, he's got #1 hits, and he's well up on the country charts, so excited to have him. And then July 9th, Jake Kershaw is our featured Lakes Festival blues performer. So we'll have blues throughout the day there, but he'll be the featured performer for the Lakes Fest. Vendor sign-ups, we're still working on getting vendors. We've reached out to over 40 vendors throughout the county. We've got 4 for the Rock so far, 3 for the country, 3 for the Lakes Fest, and 3 for the Family Carnival. But the only food vendors we have are really for the Rock. The other ones are popcorn, smoothies, and shaved ice. So if you know of any vendors that are looking to come to the park and be a vendor, send them our way. Like we said, we've tried food trucks, we've tried everybody, and it's just they're either not doing it or they're just have obligations elsewhere. So trying to work on that. Our recreation guides are printed. I've got one right here. This is our new recreation guide. They're printed. They're at the park office. They're also available online on the city website. They're posted on there, so they're ready to go. As far as staffing, the recreation department, we have staffing for that. Our skate park staff is good. We have close to 13 lifeguards so far this season, so I think we'll be good there. I think we had 14 last year with a couple of them only wanting to work 20 hours, which we have a couple of those this year as well. But so happy to see that back so we can guard our lakes. We still need a couple of maintenance staff, so encourage anybody that's 18 years older that wants to come and work maintenance, send them our way. But programs, March, we did the Lost Our Pot of Gold Scavenger hunt. Heather took golden stones and hid them throughout the parks. And when people found them, they came to the office and they got this little pot with the candy in it and a little token and stuff in it. And people loved it. They had a great time with that. Of course, we did our macrame class. It was sold out and went well. They pre-cut colors, and then the instructor had them make a macrame that for a decorative wall hanging that went well. But that was the first time we did that, and it was sold out and went really well. Extravaganza, maybe you guys can tell us a little bit about that. Tell
I
us what-
forgot to bring my bunny.
Did ya?
I was gonna bring my bunny.
I appreciate all your help and your volunteerism for that. I heard it was a great event.
It was fantastic. She
Yes.
did a wonderful job of having everything all ready for us, and the kids loved it, and the parents were very appreciative, and
We even had people drive from as far away as Rochester that had seen it advertised and drove up just to do it. So it was a neat evening.
That's awesome. That's
And your
awesome.
granddaughter seemed to enjoy it greatly.
She did.
She
She
did.
talked about it. She had to bring all the eggs over and show me and tell me how each one was done. And so it was,
Well, and I
It left
think
an
that
impression.
that was so creative too, because, I mean,
Yeah.
she had different methods of coloring the eggs, and the kids got to have, it was like a STEM class. I mean, they got to have these experiments with coloring eggs at each location, and then making their bunnies, and all the different things that she had there for people to do. And I noticed that we had the little baby, and mommy was doing it, and daddy was holding her and kind of showing her, now drop the egg in, and
Yeah,
everything from that up to, I'd say maybe an 10 or 11-year-old
Yeah.
who really was enjoying herself too, so.
she came in and she had that kind of,
I
I'm
mean,
not
I'm
gonna
a
like
teenager,
this.
or, you know, or-
Yeah, and she left, she was just being.
smiling, yes. Makes you feel good, absolutely.
And
Well,
then-
thanks again for volunteering.
They had a little petting area where they could meet bunnies and chicks, and
Yeah.
that was a big hit.
Absolutely. And then we did the Catch the Bunny scavenger hunt, was kind of like what she did with the rocks, but they had numbered white eggs that we hid in the park, and Heather hid most of them. She said, Larry, I've got one more to hide, so take this to Kelly Park and hide it. Well, I climbed the sledding hill and I hid it behind the post and in the tall grass, and I thought, boy, this is going to be hard. It was the first one that brought to our office, but that went really well as well. Upcoming events in May, we have a watercolor painting class. 17 of the 20 spots have been signed up. Terry Armstrong is a national recognized watercolor painting artist who will be teaching that class. Of
When
course,
is that?
that is, when is that? That's, well, that's just.
I'll look it up on the, I'll look it
I'll
up on
just
the.
tell you right now, maybe I won't. But it's, I know you've got to have the registration in by this 6th of May, is when that is, but, yeah, it's the 9th or 10th, somewhere in there. I didn't have that in my notes, but that's the next class coming up. And then we have Touch a Truck on May 14th. Of course, we'll have, a lot of equipment and neat vehicles and stuff like that for kids and to get in and have a ball, getting in the tractors and the equipment and things of that. And then, of course, our summer concert series starts May 27th, it's our first one, so it's coming soon. So that's about it on the rec side.
Okay. Thank you. Maintenance report.
Okay,
There you go.
in our 5-year master plan, one of the areas that we thought we could improve on was our restroom facilities. That was the only thing that really stood out to me as far as maintenance that we can improve on. So we have installed several things. We installed 3 sinks with faucets, 16 toilets and flush valves, 22 toilet seats, and 2 urinals, approximately $5,300 worth of equipment. Our staff did all the install, but we're trying to really upgrade our restrooms and make them presentable, and hopefully that takes care of that 75% thing that we got instead of 100%. We're always striving to be better, but we've also
Wait, I got a comment.
yes.
Today, I had lunch with my friend, and she was so overjoyed that you had put the doors on the restrooms at Kelly Park, and she said the pickleball people are very excited that they're open now.
was that today?
Yes.
Yes. Well, actually, I got to give credit to my staff because Sunday night, those restrooms were vandalized. We had soap dispensers and hand sanitizers thrown off. They had taken wet toilet paper and threw all over the walls. They threw mud all over the building. We actually found a couple of the individuals. We had a trail cam out there, and we've got them. They're trying to locate them now, but my staff stayed extra, got that all cleaned back up and installed new toilet paper machines and everything so they would be ready for the pickleballers, because I knew they would be there. But with that being said, we do have new, we put new hand sanitizers and soap dispensers in all the restrooms. We tried the soap dispensers a couple years ago and had a lot of vandalism with them, but we're willing to try it again. The hand sanitizer, actually Warsaw Chemical had made a bunch of that through the pandemic, and they're giving away free 10 cases, 4 gallons apiece in each case. So we've made 3 trips over there and got that. So I thought, what a great time to, take advantage of a company that's giving this out to nonprofits or local government to try these dispensers in the restrooms. It's just another added feature to try to make our restrooms more friendly. So those are up. All 4 cabins at the Lucerne have been gone through, all the windows repaired and replaced, soffits and fascia. We did find a foundation crack in cabin 4. We have filled that and sealed it. We're sealing all the cabin stones. We've got 3 other cabins to seal yet, but we have the material now. And some of the paths in front of the cabins had the rocks had heaved, so they've relayed those. So we've been all through the cabins this year, so hopefully that'll be good. We've installed a split rail fence at Bixler Park on the north end where the boat ramp is. After NIPSCO redid the poles there, we lost the big pine tree and some other things through there, so we were having problems with people driving right into the park there, so we put split rail fence along that to divide the asphalt and the grass there. Cornhole boards, we took out the horseshoe pits at Bixler Park. They weren't being utilized. We had 1 person a year use those. So we took those out, and we now have cornhole boards, concrete cornhole boards at both shelters at Bixler Park and at the shelter at Byer Park. So when people have family reunions or rent that, they can just bring their bags, and the boards are there and they're ready to play. So we thought
they're concrete?
Yes, they're concrete.
So they don't make that same thud?
No,
But-
but they're actually pretty good. They slide well. We've had some at the
good.
campgrounds, and I've thrown on them, and they're pretty good. I mean,
Fun.
they're good.
Well, they'll last longer than wood.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So excited to see those used. Just another added feature to a rental when you use that. The campground's up and running. The crew had completed a new lot numbering instead of like the tree row is the T, and then we went A, B, C, and D. Now we have number 1 through 48. So when you know what spot you're in, it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's renumbered after all these years. They put new millings on the drives. They planted grass. They filled the wood pen, installed the piers. They raised the sunken manholes that throughout the park. Of course, we've checked all the electrical. We had the NIPSCO shut the power down and redid all the split bolts. Last year we had a fire with one of the split bolts. So we went through all those, made sure those were good. I think I had talked about in an earlier park board meeting that we were going to update the electric out there. Due to the supplies, we were still having trouble getting breakers up until last week. So we went ahead and did the split bolts this year to get us through, but we've got the panels set and the butt board. We're going to run the wires, so then in October, when the campground closes down, we'll have NIPSCO shut the power off, and then we'll be able to put those on each row on an individual meter. So when we have a problem, we can shut the row down and not the whole park. And then we won't have the split bolts up overhead that we can't work on until NIPSCO comes. So it puts more of the maintenance in our hands and the availability to shut things down and fix things without having to call NIPSCO and depend on NIPSCO. So we have started to move the skate park equipment. As you know, since we're not moving that to Rarick Park, we've decided that we're going to move the equipment. We're going to asphalt that. The street department is going to asphalt that for us. So we've moved everything. We haven't moved it all. We're close to it. We moved everything to the south, and then we'll pave all of that and then put it back and then pave that little strip to finish it up. But while we're moving some of that, we're finding some deteriorated boards and some cracked skate lights. So as we tear those apart to move them, we'll certainly put them back and fix them. We've ordered the material to fix them, so when we're done, we'll have updated ramps, and we'll have a nice, smooth place for them to skate on. Some of those ramps out there over the years have sunk 3 inches. You don't really realize that until you take them out of the asphalt. And so it'll be, and there's a lot of cracks and crack filling, you know, it's for skateboarders to go over, but it should be smooth transition when we're done, so. Crews clean until the downtown beds and park beds, getting those ready for the season. We also did several repairs on the Buyer Farm Boardwalk, all the way from the Pike Lake part all the way to Lincoln Edition. They've been through that and replaced bad boards and things of that sort. So the guys have been busy. We're looking to put tables out tomorrow. We've been waiting on the spraying of Bixler and the municipal parks for the Cottony scale and the trees. However, it's got to be 45 degrees at night for that to happen. And we've had one night, and he sprayed the campgrounds. We got that done, but they're looking to do Wednesday night, maybe this weekend, to get those done. And then we'll put all the tables in the parks and getting those ready to go. So a lot of things going, a lot of things to do. Yeah, when it dries out, we'll start working on Buyer Park. So we've got a lot on board.
All right, thanks, Larry.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? I'm glad I don't have to try to keep up with them.
No.
Yeah.
Larry, do you have a time frame from the fencing at Buyer, the shore stabilization?
Yeah, actually, I got an email on that today. G&G has taken half of that down, and they anticipate taking the rest of it down by Friday.
Oh, okay.
They're actually taking that equipment, and they're going to use that at the Center Lake shoreline stabilization. So, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, other matters?
The only thing I've got, I did get an update from Finn & Brown. Their intent is to start on the pickleball courts at Bixler Park in May. So I hope that sticks. If they can get that done, I know they've pre-ordered all the posts and nets and everything, the material for that last year. We had talked about that, and they went ahead and ordered that. And K&M that does the coloring, I know he's on board, so hopefully the weather will cooperate and Finn & Brown can get in there and do that, and we can get that open fairly soon. And as Joe mentioned, we did do a pre-construction meeting for our office and maintenance facility. They're looking at mobilization in June, which means they're going to bring everything in and get things set up and get ready to go. So the timeline, the end timeline, they have hopes of when that will be, but they're still waiting on the steel. They think they might get the steel a little bit sooner than we thought. So we're hoping that timeline moves up a little bit, but still looking for a 2023 completion as of right now. But that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Meeting review, well, the big one obviously is Center Lake Pavilion getting redone. That's gonna really, I think, be great for Warsaw and the surrounding community. And I hope everybody, I'm excited about the new park out at the airport. I hope everybody is. But I think we got a lot of stuff going on.
We
You
do.
Yeah.
We do. I mean, I think there's a lot of things going on that, really could be a big impact on our park
A
system.
lot of positive.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything? Take a motion to adjourn? Or do we want?
So moved.
Okay, second?
I'll second.
Motion to adjourn, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
You do this since Sean's not here? The donut?
Wow, I'm tired just listening to everything that
I
I've been doing.
I know, I can't believe you're doing all that.